Morning everybody. It's about 2.5 weeks left before season opener of archery season here down in 1A in PA, and so I thought I'd just take a little bit of time and show you how I set up this property that we're going to be hunting. This field here is about 6 acres, and the guy that owns the property lets me come down and do food plots and whatnot in it. So but it was just a straight field. We come in last year and planted a little bit of clover in it just to get some clover established, but this year we turned it in to a lot more than that. So I'm going to go ahead and just give you a virtual tour of what we did access wise, plot wise, and where our blinds and everything are at. Just to sort of kind of give you guys an idea that if you just have a big open field and you want to try to turn it into something other than just going in and planting it, this might give you an idea on how you can be creative and just turn an open field into your own hunting paradise. So I'm going to go ahead and start off. We'll go down this. I got Egyptian wheat screening planted here, and this is one of the access trails that go down and cuts into a couple of the plots and then swings around and comes in back of the blind. Basically this will be for later on in the season, or possibly maybe a couple evening hunts, but for the most part it's going to be going down and cutting around and coming in to the blind and getting set up in the blind when the deer are coming this way in the morning. So we're going to sort of circle around and try to not interfere with them being out here in the plots we have. So we're going to head down here first. As you can see, I got me just a nice little access trail here with the Egyptian screening along the side, and then the woods on our right. Come in, we couldn't get the Egyptian wheat planted until in June because it was so wet this spring, and you just couldn't get in here to get it planted. So we didn't get it in started until almost the end of June, but it come in really nice. But this will give us some nice, easy, quiet access to come down. Like there's actually a plot right here to our left that's Whitetail Institute. I believe it's the Tautine tubers, and so we can sneak right down here and they can be out over in there and they won't even know we're here. They logged the woods out here last year. You can't even get a tree stand anywhere. So those woods are so thick you can't even get in them now. And so that's why we are pretty much confined to this field. And that's why I decided to come in and do what we did with it this year. So you come down here, and if we hook a left right here, I got a nice little access trail coming right in through here to this plot. This is our Tautine tubers plot. We haven't had much rain, but it's coming in pretty nice. There's a lot of turnips already started, and it's got some weeds in it because we didn't have rain after I planted, and the weeds got a pretty good jump start. So it's not completely weed free, but it'll provide a good bit of forage. And here you can see some of the Turnips are already started. Sorry about the sun glare. If you've never planted this Whitetail Institute tall tine tubers, this is my second year of using it, and I don't have nothing but good things to say about it. It's really produced for me. It's really been good stuff. It grows really fairly easy. Like I said, we haven't had any significant rain since I planted, and it's still come up pretty good, and it's got some pretty decent bulbs on it already. So, but we can cut right down here, and we got a blind set up right here. And out there's a clover field and some whitetail peas plus. But this is one way we can sneak in back here to access this blind. And then, like I said, we'll be able to actually, if we want to open the back windows of the blind, we can see this tall tine tuber plot and the clover and everything. It's out in front of us. So there's also another access route that comes into where we can come out through the corner of the clover and not have to worry about if anything's in this tall tine tuber plot. But if we come down here just a little bit further, this is the other access opening that comes out into the clover plots. You can see the screening all around it, and then down there you can see the radishes and stuff from the whitetail winter peas plus. And we got a tree koi out there. I got to get the branches and everything set up on it to get the scrapes going, but that's right in front of the blind. The blind's tucked right back here in the Egyptian wheat. So, and then over here on that point we have another blind set up for opposite wind direction, and you know, for morning and evening hunts. So, but this here is not an access route. This is actually just where I cut it open so they could come out into the plots. But we come out here and keep coming down this access trail. Like I said, I was running a little bit behind in some areas this year with the rain that we've had, and the fact that, you know, they logged all this out. I mean, it took me a good bit to come in, and we had to cut logs and move logs and stuff like that to open a lot of this up. So this here, I actually didn't even get opened up until the day before yesterday down here. This is one of the openings where we had a blind last year. But like I said, there's logs and everything laying in there, so you can't see this year. But they come out of that corner back there where they logged, and they come down through here, so I put another access lane for them here that they can pop in down to the bottom corner of this Whitetail Institute winter peas plot. You can see some of the bare dirt. Like I said, we haven't had more than 3/4 of an inch of rain ever since I planted, clear back in end of July. So, but you can see over there's the blind. tucked into the Egyptian wheat. It's watching that clover field, and then that other strip of clover, and that bare dirt over there by the screening is going to be winter wheat and winter rye. And then, like I said, off this point here we have another blind. It's actually the one we're headed to now with this access lane. But that just shows you what all we have planted and the little openings I cut for the deer to make it easier on them to travel, to come into there. And like I said, this gives us access here to just outskirt all the plots, because they can't see over this Egyptian wheat. This here I actually opened up just the day before yesterday. I couldn't get back here because of all the logs that were laying here, but I finally got it cleaned out. And this is a scrape that they actually used almost every day last year. So I'm hoping to get them using it again. I got a Myers trail camera set up to catch them using the scrape, and hopefully they'll get to using it again as much as they did last year, because they really hit it hard. And I'll probably come in, and I got some winter rye left over, so I'll probably come in and throw some down here if we ever get a rain, and try to get some of it established. But I don't want to do too much, because like I said, this is our access to swing around here to get into this blind, so I really don't want to have food there. The only reason I would do it would be if I decide to put a stand in here on this wood line on the property line. Then maybe just catch them when they start cruising. But we come in yesterday and I cut all this so that we could have easy access, and we put these blinds up yesterday. So you can see this just brings us back in a nice circle, and then we can come back here and climb right into the blind and not have to worry about spooking them out of the plots. You can see there's the bare dirt that I told you is going to be the winter wheat, winter rye, and then there's the clover. And then I got screening out there, because there's a whole different set of plots down here where I'll take you now. But that just gives you an idea how we access this blind and how we set it up. They come out of this corner right here, so I made them a lane that they could travel and come out of the. They had a nice trail here, so I just cut it open so they would hopefully use it, and then that lets them pop out right to the right of our blind, and the blind's about 20 yards away, so they can just cut right through here and pop out right in front of the blind. Again, I'm sorry if this is shaky or the sun's too glared that you can't see. I was hoping to try to get down here when it was a little bit darker, but it's been so sunshiny and the weather's been nice and hot, so we haven't had too many cloudy days. But you can see this comes down here. I had some screening there, and I got the screening there, and this here is all it's more tall tine tubers, Whitetail Institute. It's also some clover and chicory mixed in. There's some beets and greens, Whitetail Institute beets and greens in here. So we tried to give them a little smorgasbord. And you can see the other blind set up down here. Now this is the blind I've always killed most of the deer out of, but they logged it out, like I said, and we had to clear out this side. And then we had a couple trees that used to be behind the blind fall down, so I had to cut them out, and you can see it left it really open. So I might not leave that blind there this year. I don't know if I can set it up and brush it in like that good enough to my liking or not. If not, I'll probably try to find a place to put a stand back there and move the blind somewhere else. But because there's a scrape right to the right of the blind there, and that's where I killed my nice buck a couple years ago, and they always come through here to hit those scrapes, especially when they start cruising. They come down this tree line. But this here's some Whitetail Institute clover. It didn't come in as well as I liked it to, because like I said, we just didn't have the rain. It's thicker over there in front of the blind, but it's left some thin spots over here that I'll have to reseed. But yeah, can't say enough about the seed. I mean, like I said, we haven't even had 3/4 of an inch of rain since I've planted this, and it's really doing pretty well. I mean, there's a lot of food down here that did come up and grow and everything like that for not having no rain. So, but down here off of this corner, I come down here and cut a path, and this is just, I originally did it just to do a little access lane from the woods out into the plot there, but when I got back here I decided, well, this might be a good spot to set up a couple scrapes. So they've always had scrapes back here, so I went ahead and set up a couple mock scrapes right here, and got a vine scrape set up over here. But I went ahead and I come in and used the drag and drug this out, and planted some clover, and I got some I think it's a Vald Harvest shot plot I had that I put back here, brassica. So it's just now, it's starting to come up. I got some of it coming up, and there is some clover coming up, but I just figured it was another way to make a little plot back here tucked away from the bigger plots. And then if I can tuck a tree stand back in somewhere, I'll be able to watch these scrapes. And there again, it just gives them, you know, a better reason to access this little lane out to the main plots where the blind's set up too. I mean, on these little small properties, and you know, especially this, like I said, this was just a 6-acre field, and you know, I just broke it up with all the screening and tried to make it to where they had to move around. You know, there's plenty of food, but you know, you could have doe group over there feeding, and doe group in here feeding, and then there's a plot on the other side, have a doe group over there, and then there's the tall tubers plot on the other side over there. You know, try to give them a reason to spread out, and you know, not have to cause them any anxiety because there's too many in one area or anything like that. And that way there, when the bucks start cruising, you know, they got to go searching all these different plots, and they can't see just through this whole field like they used to be able to do with all the screening it's set up. Because the way it was like last year with us just having the clover out here and no screening or anything. I got another Myers trail camera set up here watching this scrape. These Myers trail cameras are really nice, but I got it set up watching this scrape here. This is the scrape that, like I said, I've killed my bucks over from that blind that used to sit back in there. So, but the way this was always set up, the deer would just lay right back here in these woods, and they could just see right out into this field anytime that, you know, they seen a doe or whatever out. They knew if there was deer out in here. But now with the screening all along the backside and everything like that, they can't just lay back there and look out into the field and know if there's any deer out here now. So that makes a big difference. And then if you cut around this screening here, this pops into the other plot. And this is it's got some mossy oak, radish, and then on the far side over there is Antler King's Lights Out. It's got oats and brassicas and other stuff like that. So, and then up there is where we originally started. You can see I have access coming down the corner of that screen too, and then pop right out there into the other clover there. So I set it up like that too. I'll take you up here and show you. I wanted different access to all these different plots, just in case, you know, if you kill one or something and, you know, maybe they know which way you came in or something like that. I wanted some different avenues and ways set up that we could come out and get to each plot without having to do the same thing over and over and over. I mean, screening helps make a big difference, but I am a firm believer also in the fact that if you use the same access in and out, that sooner or later you're going to make a mistake, or they're going to just be in that area and know that you came by. And so I like to have different access routes, at least 2 to every plot, every stand location, just so you're not repeatedly doing the same things. Or if you get a different wind, you can go that way to keep the wind in your favor. But this just goes the whole way out to the screening, along the screening there, and pops right out into where we originally started. But you can also come down this way and cut through here. And then this pops right out into the clover. You can see the blind down there where we just come from. And then the screening breaking it up so you can't see down into there. And then the blind set up across there. And then this also pops right out into the tall tine tuber field where we originally started. And then I cut a lane back here in case I want to throw another blind up back here. I already got this wall of foxtail and brush and stuff to help cover it with the screening behind it. So I might move that blind up here, like I said, and put a tree stand down there, but we'll see. But anyhow, I hope this is giving you an idea of how we just took a regular old 6-acre field and broke it up with screening to allow us different access to different blinds and different plots. You know, you can really put your own creative emphasis on, you know, how you want to do it, but I don't have a whole lot of equipment, so I had to have a guy come in and plow the screening, and well, I had him plow the whole field other than the clover back in the 1st of June, because my disc that I had for my side-by-side broke, so I had to scrap it. So I hired a guy to come out and he plowed it up for me, and like I said, I was able to get the screening planted with just broadcasting and using my drag harrow behind the lawnmower, because I didn't even have my Polaris Ranger yet, so I didn't really have good tools or anything like that, but we were able to get it done regardless. I mean, if you're willing to put in some work, you know, you can make it work. So here we are back to where this blind was. Now here's another way access lane that I put in. I actually put some shot plot in here that's coming up, and I shouldn't have did that, being that I'm going to use this as an access lane, but it's my secondary access lane, so I'm not really going to let it upset me too much. But you know, I don't like to have, like I said over there, I don't like to have food on my access lanes, because I want to know when I come in, the odds are I'm not going to spook anything out. But they've been coming out of this trail that runs here, and then they walk right down the screening and they pop out right there by the blind. So if they keep doing that, we'll be in good shape. But with as high as the screening and everything is, this allows me, if I want to walk down here, or even if I got to bring the Polaris down, to maybe bring some equipment down to the blinds, or if I decide I want to hunt over on the other side, I can come down here and park, or vice versa if I want to park on the other side and then come down here. It makes it nice. So just like I said, this is just different access, different how to use screening at, you know, at your advantage. I mean, this Egyptian weed, it gets tall. I mean, you can see I'm holding the camera up. It's a good 10-14 feet in areas. So this out here didn't get as high as I'd like it, because it got overtook by the weeds before it actually got a rain. And I don't know if there was, because it was so cool or what, but I even pounded the urea to it and it still didn't get up as high as I'd like, but it's up high enough that you can't see the plots, so that's what matters. But I did a mixture of Egyptian wheat and corn. There's actually a whole bunch of corn in there, just regular field corn I got from the co-op, and I mixed it in there, and it produced ears, but it only got about 3.5, 4 feet tall, but it produced enough ears that it'll provide some food anyhow, as long as the coons don't tear it up. But you can see it's just a mess in there now. I wouldn't be surprised at all if they even come in here and bed down. So I mean, you can just see it's a mess, but that's the kind of stuff they like to lay in. So, but like I said, I just wanted to take a little bit of time and share with you what we did. I know the video is not going to come out as good as I like because of all the sun glare and with me walking, and I'm sure it's kind of bumpy, but hopefully it'll just give you some kind of an idea of what I did to try to make just a 6-acre field a little bit better, breaking it up, planting enough food, giving access lanes, and everything that you need to try to keep whitetails on your property. Or, like I said, they didn't have, with the woods all logged out, no place to put a tree stand, anything like that. I mean, I was sort of limited on what we could do and what to try to do. So for right now, this is what I come up with, and we'll see how it works this year, and hopefully we'll have some success and know that the hard work paid off. But if you have any questions or anything, just hit us up on Inception TV, and I hope you guys have a safe season. I wish you all good luck, and thanks for watching Inception TV.